move on and let's talk about something so many few have actually raised concern about. Do you color your hair? Well, I don't just yet, till I can. But I have constantly been reading about how dangerous some of the chemicals in your hair dye might be. Some have linked it to cancer. Not just that, not just the people who apply hair dye, but those who sort of do the application on your hair, your salon men and women, your friends and buddies over there. The fumes that they inhale, they also are said to be a major cause of concern. Not just hair dye, some straightening agents as well are a major cause of concern. Now you would read about this, enough and more articles say that, oh, all hair dyes cause cancer. But like we always do on TBC, let's do a fact check. Let's talk about what exactly ingredient is there in the hair dye that causes cancer. Which chemical in the hair dye is actually harmful and thus what should you actually do about it? To answer all those questions, we are joined by Dr. Smriti N Singh here in the studio. She's a consultant ologist and dermatologist at the Fortis Hospital in Mumbai. Good morning, Doc. Lots of questions, and when it comes to hair, people get very, very anxious as well. But firstly, can you break down for us what we know is that not all hair dyes are harmful? Are there certain chemicals one must watch out for in the box, in the ingredient list, and say, boss, this you should not use?
First of all, good morning, everyone. So the three ingredients that we should watch out for, one is formaldehyde, the other is PPD, or which is paraphenylene diamine, and the third is ammonia. So we would try to refrain from that. There are other ingredients also where are some reports of carcinogens like toluene and certain dyes like red, yellow, blue. So then you'll ask me, what can I do? So then we'll say, stick to the darker colors. They are better. And the reason is that when you want to go for a lighter color, you will first use hydrogen peroxide to bleach your hair, and then you'll color it. The combination of the first three ingredients, which I said, with hydrogen peroxide is much worse.
I see.
So you go for the darker shades so that you do not need to use too much of hydrogen peroxide there.
Right, so use darker shades, that's a good tip, but help me understand, what exactly is PPD and ammonia doing to the body?
So ammonia is basically an irritant. It does in fact increase the asthma risk also, besides only carcinogen risk and all. The PPD and ammonia both are something which we call as endocrine disruptors, which basically play with our hormones. And that is also very, very important because a lot of chunk of our cancers are hormonal cancers, whether it is your breast cancer, your uterus cancer, prostate cancer, ovarian cancer. Plus there are such a larger aspect of other hormonal diseases which are making life difficult for us, like obesity, polycystic ovaries, infertility and thyroid and all those things. They are also impacted by these chemicals.
So it's just penetration of the chemicals when you apply, but it's also inhaling them. Just being in the surrounding can be harmful enough is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Right. And that's more important with, say, formaldehyde because the fumes that come up. That's why when, say, for example, in hair straightening products also we use formaldehyde and there is a heat there. So the fumes that they inhale, especially not even the one who's getting it done, but also the parlor person who is doing it, those fumes also are carcinogens.
Wow. We should do a separate segment only on hair straightening because I want to understand if these, sort of hair protection serums and sprays, do they do anything at all? But back to hair dyes. So how often can one apply a hair dye? Because it's a necessity. I mean, that's what people have been doing for generations.
Yes, absolutely true. And the good thing is that there have been studies that before 1980, when it was too much of PPD, there was a risk of more, say, cancers, bladder cancers in the ones who were doing it, the parlor ones. Post 1980s, when the PPD free dyes started coming in, the risk has been quite not there. So what actually matters is the cumulative dose rather than you have done it once like that. So delay it as much as possible, and that is what is most important.
Delay it. So generally your advice is for young girls that
Yes.
don't just get into
Absolutely.
hairstyling and hair coloring just yet.
So if you really want to, so these which are we talking about are permanent hair dyes. So there are like stains, the washes that is there just for the lower ones, which do not affect the deep ones. You can try that, but it's about the fight between what you like and what is right. So the right thing is to delay it as much as possible.
All the mothers watching this are going to really take snapshots and sort of take it back to their kids, I'm sure. But last question really, there are a lot of these DIY hair dyes that one does at home. A lot of these YouTube videos that go viral on use indigo and do this. Is that safe?
There is no doubt that if you are taking the ingredient as it is, without the packaging, without the hidden ingredients in it, so you know what you're using. So it's similar to say applying henna. You're taking the henna and you're just applying it on you. So you do not have any other chemicals in it. So indigo plus henna would be a good combination for the coloring because we are away from those chemicals.
But it doesn't last.
It's fine. I mean, as long as it's safe, I think it's fine. And then people can start aging gracefully if they like that for that matter.
Right, but what's in your packet is really something we don't know. What you eat, what you apply, all of it. So the mantra there is...
Absolutely. So I totally believe that, there are so many chemicals to the tune that they say this age itself is a chemical age. So we should also start focusing on improving our internal shield. So you cannot prevent the rain always, but you just take your umbrella with you. So the internal shield improves when we increase the immunity or the gut health. So if we increase lots of whole food, plant-based diet, lot of fiber in our diet, lots of alkaline foods, fruits and vegetables, they are going to take your chemicals and shut them out of the system and not let them go into the bloodstream.
I like that. I like that how you can't escape chemicals anywhere, right? In the food you eat, the air you breathe, the color you apply or the straightener that is it. So you got to bump up your own system. I think that's quite nice. It's good advice. Thanks, Doc, so much.
Thank you so much
for joining us.